So just let you know what we're going to need. Thank you very much for coming. You're going to need meditation cushion to start off with, a block or a book, a bolster, ideally, and a firm-ish blanket, not too soft, which we're going to roll up into a sort of sausage shape. Okay, for the first practice, we're going to roll that up. Okay. And we're going to start in a seated position. So, okay, super. And just make sure you're really, really warm. So I've put on socks this evening, and if you want an extra jumper or something, just get it. So although we're going to do some heating breath exercises at the beginning, the body can cool down very quickly when we relax. So find your comfortable positions. In the last class we were speaking about this square that we sit on. So we have the sit bones to either side, the pubic bone in the front, and the tailbone in the back. So this gives us a very solid structure to sit on. And in today's lesson, the hormone centers we're going to look at are the pancreas, which is related to the solar plexus in the front of the body. You can imagine it being, the tip of it being, it's like a fish, so the shape of a fish, the tip of it being just beneath the breastbone, snuggled in between the liver on the right and then the stomach and the spleen to the left. And the pancreas creates connection between all our limbs. So the legs, the tailbone, the arms, the head. And it also connects the front body to the back. It moves back, it's fish shape with the tail towards the back. And then we're going to look at the adrenals, these two glands sitting on top of our kidneys. And they give strength to the kidneys. When they're balanced, they give strength. So all our organs, also which secrete hormones like these ones do, they need to find this sort of ideal, as it were, inner tension. So if there's not enough tension, they tend to shrink. If there's too much tension, they tend to shrink and contract. And if there's no tension or tone, as it were, at all, they tend to sort of dissolve and dissipate and lose their healthy boundaries. So we're going to work on these two organs in this class. And to start off, we'll do a heating pranayama, which is going to heat up the front body. Okay, and the pancreas in the center of solar plexus. So interlace your fingers and then bring the index fingers together. So you know this mudra, you've done it before, Ksepana mudra. And the breath we're going to use is Kapalabhati. So the inhale happens naturally through the nose, and the exhale is forceful out through the nose. So, and as you blow air out, you'll notice the whole front of the body, basically from the sternum down to the lower belly, going inwards, pushing the breath out. At the same time, we're going to lift the arms up. Okay, the fingers are interlaced. And then on the exhale, it'll be like just follow me and keep as if you were chopping, okay, maybe chopping wood for the winter fire. And at the same time, it's going to heat the body. So just continue doing this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then release. Let your arms gently move out towards the side. And then as if they contained all the energy of the world within them, and the hands, just draw that energy to the center. And then the arms come out, and then drawing the energy towards the center. The hands don't have to touch. You might feel like a column of energy in front of you, whatever shape it may have. And then interlace the fingers again. Arms come up. And then again, forcefully out through the nose. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then release. Take time to observe. Let your arms naturally move out towards the side. And then draw them in as if you were sort of touching a column of energy in front of you. And then take a moment, just the palms on your knees or your thighs facing up. Notice maybe a sensation of heat in the front body. Of breadth and broadness in the back. And then gently come off your cushion. Put the cushion towards the side. And we're going to take the rolled up blanket. And I'll just show you where it's going to be placed. So on the rib cage, below the shoulder blades, so not lower back, rib cage, a little bit higher, basically where the adrenals are. And so lie on your back, and you're lying on the blanket, and then your head moves back. So it's quite unusual sort of sensation possibly. Okay, and we're going to stay there. I'll mind the time, so you can just let yourself relax into this posture. Okay, so by this gentle pressure, we're going to activate actually the adrenals. And then let your left hand, place your left hand just below the sternum. The right arm can be wherever's comfortable. You can bend the elbow maybe. And let your tongue relax, the whole body relax. And allow the back body just to sink down, so there's nothing to do here. And whatever emotion you may have. So lots of emotions could be here in these two organs, which actually mark the awareness of self, and sort of also self-defense, self-love, distinction, and basically it's the portal between that and the love towards the other. So the heart, the love towards the other, our place in society as a whole. So if there's imbalance here, the emotions could be anger, frustration, or maybe even collapse, depression, giving up. And if the energies here aren't balanced, there'll be an unbalance in the heart. So our love will be one of competition, maybe of neediness. So just remain here with whatever may come up for you. Sensing your hand be moved by the breath. And then very gently bend your knees. Push your feet into the floor just to get the blanket out from underneath you. Okay, blanket to one side, and then release the whole body down, so stretch out for this Shavasana, which helps the body realize, okay, what has happened. It brings back the order, our inner cosmology, as it were. And be there with any sensation. So there might be a pulsation or something in the back body. Just be really observant. Okay, there's nothing to do, there's no right or wrong. Just be with what is. As you let your tongue hang heavily, even if your lips part, it doesn't matter, as long as the breath is moves in and out of the nose so that it's nicely warmed and filtered before it comes into the body. You can even part your lips just to completely relax the jaw and any holding on that might be there. And then gently bend your knees. So roll to one side and then see if you can grab your block, wherever it is, your block or your book. And the block has 3 heights. So there's the flat, middle and high. And we're going to go for the middle height. And the block we're going to place and lift up the sacrum, the pelvis, and just place the block or the book, okay, underneath the sacrum and keep your knees bent. Okay, so it's like a supported bridge pose. And again, I'll be minding the time. Let your sacrum drop down heavily, and you'll notice maybe that on the back there's some support here. So you're not completely falling down. There's some support here through the activated adrenals and kidneys. And there's also support here on the front side of the body, the pancreas, which gives, as it were, connection to all the limbs. And then just let your pelvis sink, sacrum sink down. Allow your tongue to be heavy, your lips can part. And all the while you are being breathed, so there's actually nothing to do at all. And the pelvis sinks. So of course these 2 hormonal centers all have to do with the others. So pancreas and adrenals also have to do with the sacrum, have to do with the femur, the heavy thigh bone. And the breath will go where it feels it needs to go. And then very gently push into the soles of your feet. Take the block out from underneath you. And then lay your whole body down. Stretch the legs out, the arms out. For these wonderful yin shavasanas between each posture. To allow us also to increase our proprioception. That way becoming aware of all, always. And then from here, we're going to do a movement together with the sound. So the sound is like a hissing sound. So it's and as we hiss, we're going to roll the body up. So you can try and roll up without using your hands, on the ground. So from here, you roll up. Roll back down again. So if you need to use your arms to help you up, you can do so. Otherwise, you just come back and then so the organ should be toned enough now to make this movement easy. 2 more times. And then gently coming back to a seated position. Now the next position could be difficult. I'll show you afterwards an option if it's difficult for your knees. However, if you can, you come up and you sit. You could also take a block or a cushion in between your legs. So you're going to sit in between your feet. Okay, so this won't be possible for everybody. You could also maybe even leave one leg outstretched and just do it on one side. You could also sit up on something. Okay, it could be on a cushion. And then the movement, now this is going to activate all the meridians. So the movement is either hands behind you and you stay like this. So we're aiming at having a sensation here in the lower back. Or you could come back onto your elbows. Okay. Or you could place your shoulders and head on a bolster behind you. So not the lower back, just shoulders and head like this. Okay, so find a position that works for you. Now, if this is absolutely impossible for the knees, the option would be, and it's actually the same thing that's going to happen, would be to be in a Sphinx pose. So you can choose this pose if you wish. Okay, Sphinx pose, and here again we have a slight sort of compression in the lower back. It could even be a Sphinx pose where you're a little bit higher on the blocks. Okay, so choose which one you think would be good for you. Now you're going to have some sensations on the knees. It should never be pain. And then you find the place where you're going to enter into this, the yin, so the receptivity, the stillness. You can bring your awareness now here to the front body. You could even, if you're lying back, you could even place your fingertips here or your hands on the ribs, elbows on the ground, and just sense just beneath the sternum, the pancreas. So we're not going to stay too long, and it mightn't be that comfortable, but as long as there's no pain, try and stay here with me. Knowing that through the compression, it's this effect of wringing out. We wring out a sponge, and then afterwards the blood flow, the energy flow, and the natural tension or tone can reestablish itself. There are deeper breaths coming, just let them arrive, let the breath rise and fall. And then very gently, using the help of your elbows if you're lying back. Okay, come up very, very carefully. Stretch out your legs. If you were in Sphinx, you're going to just lie on your back as we are too. And then just stretch out your legs, take the bolster away, and come into Shavasana on your back. You might even observe like a sensation of lightness. It's as if there's this squeezing. It's like if we squeeze something out afterwards, there's this expansiveness, this lightness. Make sure you're lovely and comfortable and warm. And then gently coming back, roll over to the side. Come up by using your hands in the ground. And then take your blanket, okay, the one that you'd rolled up. And now we're going to use this blanket as we would for a shoulder stand. So you can fold it, and I'll just show you now, and then you can do it when you're lying yourself. So the blanket and the shoulders are on the same line. My head is on the mat. Okay, so this will give a bit more space for my neck. Right, so that's the position of the blanket. And then behind me, because we're going to come up and bring into a sort of plow pose, behind me I'm going to lay the bolster, maybe another cushion, okay, or I could use the edge of the sofa if I wanted. So it's basically to keep the feet at a little bit of a height when they come back. So it's as if it were sort of an assisted shoulder stand. Okay, so you lie back, legs come up, okay, back of the head's in the ground. Okay, you feel comfortable here, and then we're just going to lift the legs up and back and place them here on the cushions, on the edge of the sofa, even on a chair. And keep the palms of your hands flat here on the lower back, and the heels of the hand are going to be approximately at the kidneys and adrenals. So ideally, this posture is held by the energy of the organs on the back body. And the legs can then relax, the knees can start to bend. Of course, at the same time, we're flushing out the thyroid gland. And we're not going to stay too long in this posture, but it's an important one to include. Okay, so remain here just a little bit longer. We spoke at the beginning of class of intimacy. Intimacy for me is also when we allow the persona that we have created so carefully to be accepted or admired by the world at large. Intimacy is when all this can fall away. When our only duty is the duty to ourselves. And then very, very gently, very carefully, roll your legs down. Take the blanket out from underneath you and then lie in Shavasana. And you might notice here the gentle pause that happens naturally between inhale and exhale, and between exhale and inhale. Just a tiny, tiny little fraction of a moment of suspense. Similar to when the waves come and hit the shore. Before they're drawn back again by the tide. There's this tiny little moment of suspense. A moment where anything is possible. The moment before the artist's stroke of the paintbrush on the empty canvas. before the next idea. And then very gently roll over to one side. Push your body up. For the last posture on both sides. So take your bolster and place it the length of the mattress, so it's moving away from you, long lengthwise. And then bring your right hip towards the edge of the bolster, and the right thigh and the bolster form a 90-degree angle. Okay, so you're sort of sitting to the side of your mat. I think you know this posture. Okay, so bolster, thigh, 90 degrees. And then we're going to turn over towards the bolster and then take a block, sorry, I forgot this, a block, and place it underneath the tip of the bolster, so we're not completely flat. And then move the upper body, so we're twisting, okay, over to the right, and then place the upper body down, so it's supported here from the waist all the way up to the head. And then you can look the same way as your legs are, or you can turn your head towards the opposite direction. So whichever suits you best. And so what you will feel is a sort of stretch in the thigh, maybe in the thigh, but definitely in the waist and the side body, okay, probably. And then your choice to change the direction of your head if the opposite direction is too intense. And then just let the body sink down. And because your tongue is heavy, your mouth might open, your lips might part. At the same time, the sensation of the breath moving in and out through the nose is still there. Let's make friends here together with our own nature. Let's return to the rhythm of our own souls. And then from this intimacy with self, we become sure and poised, balanced, front and in the back. And then the heart can open freely. We're not needy anymore. We don't need others' approval to be who we are. And then very gently push yourself up off the ground. Put the bolster and the block to one side and lie on your back. Just to be, to observe. And then gently roll over to one side, move up. And we'll do the same posture on the other side. So the bolster to the outside edge of your left hip, a block underneath the tip of the bolster. And then your eyes will turn as the upper body turns. And then lay the upper body down so the side waist is supported. Okay, in the whole torso. And then your head either same direction as your legs. This could be intense enough. Or you lift your head and turn it towards the other side. I'll mind the time as you just let yourself drop down again. And whichever sensation your body draws your attention, allow the breath to follow your attention into maybe that soft spot. again, if you wish, observe place of all possibility, where the yogis say that you can find eternity when the breath turns, and before the breath turns, a moment of suspense, of stillness, of possibility. And then very gently push yourself up and then find a perfect position. Cover yourself up for the final relaxation. So lying on your back, if you want to bolster underneath your legs, or just simply flat on your back, making sure your legs are apart, your arms don't touch, making sure you're warm, you have enough blankets to keep you nice and cozy. Even turn down the lights, whatever you need to make it really, really cozy and deep. And let yourself sink into the embrace of the earth. Let gravity draw you in towards the heart of the world. It's as if everything melts and dissolves. Allow yourself to dissolve completely. Your muscles to melt, the bones to sink. Your body itself are going into this moment of suspense. You can draw out to become an eternity, empty. You're welcome to stay here for another couple of moments. Just absorbing the stillness. I thank you so much for coming this evening, and see you next